Hello, my absolutely beautiful Leo friends, and welcome to your horoscope for 2024, which I can't even believe we're ready to start the 2024 year. But let me tell you what, on this channel, I'm going to be making sure that you are really prepared to see what is in the cosmic sky and the astrological energies so that you can make the most out of your 2024 experience. And to do that, not only are you going to get a horoscope for this year from me, but I've also paired with 4 other brilliant astrologers to take care of you in the area of finance, relationships, medicine, and spiritual development. So let me tell you what, you guys, get a pen, get paper, my Leo friends, put this video on in the background, come back to it all year long because we are really going to be unfolding and unpacking all of these different areas for you in this video. And I'm really excited to share this with you. Now, to also make sure that your 2024 is whipping and zipping, we want to make sure that your toolkit is loaded correctly. So make sure you get your digital transit calendar in my description box down below. Now, you're also going to be able to get in contact with all of the astrologers in this video in the description box down below. So please click down there. Take advantage. We want to help you if you're ready to have help. We want to talk astrology with you if that is what you are looking for. All right, my beautiful Leos, let's get in here and start to see what 2024 has to offer for you. Now, first of all, Leo, big news in the sky is that Pluto is going to continue to do this dance between Capricorn and Aquarius. Now, that's cool with the Capricorn energy because we're pretty used to that. You know, it's been dancing in the Capricorn area of your chart in that 6th house for 20 years. This is not new information, new intel. But you will have this continued theme of looking at things, Leo, in your daily routine, okay? And some of the things in your daily routine, Leo, your life, maybe have broken down in certain ways, but also I never want to miss the fact that Pluto is also the VIP energy. So just as much as your daily routine may have changed, it could have also changed because you began to take that step up. You came to the next level. You're in the VIP section of whatever that looks like for you in your life. If it's the VIP section of your health and mental health and wellness, of a daily routine that really works for you now, even if it's not the same one that the world told you were supposed to have. Whatever it is, the breakdown and rebuilding has made space for some beautiful changes for you. So you will continue to see that energy. But then we're going to see Pluto step into the vibration of Aquarius. And first and foremost, I want you to come back to March of 2023 when Pluto first moved into the vibration of Aquarius. Because what was happening for you at that time? What were the changes you began to see in relationships? Aquarius is the opposite sign for you. So this is right across the street in your conscious chosen one-on-one relationship house. Now, when you're thinking about this, I want you to think about, yes, your marriage, your business partnerships, where you have chosen to partner with another resource for a reason. But I would love for you to include in that as well the relationship of you with you. Are you living in alignment with the season of your life? Where are you at from your natal lunar phase to your progressed lunar phase? Are you living in alignment with where life is at, you with you? What about your connection with you and whatever you call divine, higher power, God, whatever that word is for you? These are going to be some really big changes to your social group that Pluto is going to bring about. And it's also going to speak so much more to the advancement of technology. Pluto in Aquarius is telling us that we are in the digital revolution. So what's happening? How are you taking advantage of not only social groupings and changes to your relationships here, but how you're also changing your relationship with technology and the support that comes around that? How are you using it? Are you afraid? Pluto can bring up fear for us. I don't want to be taken over by AI, right? Or where are you learning to embrace it? So the changes here in your relationship zone will be significant. And again, depending on where you are at in the experience and the evolution of your lessons, this can also be a VIP status, or you're coming to the next level. You have significant partnerships coming into your life that take you on the next bit of the journey. Now, we don't want to forget as well that we've got Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus as we're starting this year. Uranus will stay in Taurus for the whole of the year. And again, this is not a new energy for you. So it's like, yeah, you know how to work with this because it's been rocking and rolling for you at the top of your chart, for over a year. That your career, who you are, what we call you in public, the title that you take on, maybe we call you CEO, maybe we call you wife, mother, worker, volunteer, grandmother, grandfather, whatever we call you in public has been really being changed around since 2018. Now, Uranus is going to keep unfolding that, continue to bring you innovation in this area. Now, as Jupiter is continuing its travel through Taurus, it's going to help you expand what you're learning about your work, your title, or your calling in the world. And it will continue to do that for you all the way until we get to May, where we're going to see Jupiter then get into the vibration of Gemini. Now, this starts to light up that friendship group. Friends, social groupings, who's your tribe? Again, we've got a whole other thing with relationships at a public level really being activated for you, Leo. So you're going to want to be paying attention to who's in your network. And I'm telling you, with Jupiter coming around, first of all, go back 12 years into your life, because that is the last time that Jupiter would have been here in the Gemini vibration for you. So what was expanding? What were you learning, experience? And now you can bring that wisdom, but you're also going to have new teachers come in, new information about technology, new goals and aspirations for your life. So I want to say this too, because Uranus and Jupiter are going to have their conjunction as we come together here. One of the ideas for Leo that keeps striking me is that really your social groupings get different because a different scenario comes into your life that makes it so. So one example, and take it as you need it, but if you're going along and you've been with your partner for a while and y'all are living your best life, Jupiter, you've been traveling, being in the sun, being cute. I love that for you. And then you decide to have a baby, adopt a baby, children come around. The social group naturally gets different. So it could be something that changing for you as we're traveling, okay? We've got the nodes traveling through Aries and Libra, and this again will be a continuation from what we began to experience in 2023. Now, this is going to light up Aries in that 9th house, pulling you forward. The nodes are a destiny point, so it's saying, come this way. It is your destiny, your helpers, your squad, your soulmates, your spirit guides. They're all over here helping you move forward. And at that Libra South node, it's saying this needs to fall out. Your relation, your understanding, your balance to these things over here in the 3rd house need to go on ahead and begin to fall away. But with the North node traveling through Aries in the 9th house, it is you saying, I have to publish, I have to market, I have to broadcast, I have to start that YouTube channel, I have to take on the training, I have to teach, I have to do the traveling, right? I have to initiate my own movement forward. And at the Libra level, in the 3rd house, where it's I've been so lost in all of the details of my life. I've been so lost in the talking about it and not so much the doing about it. I've been lost in the thinking instead of the producing. So somewhere in here, you're trying to get these two, Aries and Libra, to come to the space of interdependence with each other. New belief systems, new ideas, new ways of taking the knowledge you have, Leo, and expanding it out to the world. And we'll continue to see you striving for that, and your helpers who are going to help you on that destiny path coming along to support you as we travel 2023. Now, to another point of this, we're going to have Mars, the ruler of that Aries North node and of Scorpio, of course, go into retrograde at the end of the year. And this we gonna want to pay attention to. We are gonna want to pay attention to this, because when Mars and Venus go retrograde, because they're so close to us, they're personal planets, we feel it. Mercury goes retrograde all the time, so we notice it and it's that's weird. But when Venus and Mars go retrograde, we can find ourselves woof, right? Okay, so you need to take note of that. And that's not to be scared. It's to say, hey, you're probably going to feel this energy. Now, in 2023, I want you to think about June to October, when Venus went retrograde in Leo, and you got a reevaluation of what it means to be you, your aesthetic, your name, your external environments, your confidence, who you are, flashing back in your life going, you know what, before I didn't believe I could do that, or I was striving for that and it didn't happen. And now my creative, beautiful self is out. Okay. So Venus set the table. Now Mars is here to eat, as it will take this retrograde in Leo as well. So Venus, you got new value. Mars, what are you going to do with it? What is your desire on what you want to do with it? So we could see during this Mars retrograde that you are going back over something that you've been trying to put out. Maybe you're going back over that body, yada, yada, right? Maybe you're going back over presentations, photographs, external environments, things like this. The way that you move in the world will get this really genuinely beautiful review. Let's not forget about Saturn and Neptune continuing to travel through the vibration of Pisces. So Saturn has been in Pisces, Neptune has been in Pisces. So again, we don't have this entirely new vibration happening over here in your 8th house. But as they continue to work, one of the things that you're going to notice is that in terms of joint connections, joint finances with a partner, an institution, any place where you have deep, intimate connection, okay? Death, debt, taxes, insurance, astrology, healing, wellness, trauma, any of these things, sex, of course, birth, reproduction, debt, any of those things, you are going to have, it's not a flip of the switch, but this area of your life has needed to get a lot more spiritual. Your ideas and ideals around how these areas of work out for you, you've been like reevaluating, and some things have dissolved where you're like, I don't necessarily believe this particular thing anymore. Neptune came out of retrograde here in 2023. And so as we're walking forward into 2024, you've seen where you've had some rose-colored glasses around some belief systems over here or some actions you've been taking. And now Saturn in Pisces in its continued journey is going to say, okay, I want to put a crystallization around this. Let's make your spirituality, let's make your ideas, your ideals real. Let's bring it just from out of the ethers into the real, touchable, tangible, usable place, a faith that you can stand on, a belief and ideals that you can stand on. That's what Saturn is about. But Saturn says, Leo, stop talking about it and we have to be about it. So you're going to demonstrate some level of mastery or learn something that helps you learn and gain the wisdom of some level of mastery as Saturn travels through this Piscean zone, and emotionally as well. You may be really stepping up, coming to the next level in some kind of connection and really intimate and deep collaboration with another resource this year that takes your experience to a whole spiritual level. All right, my absolutely beautiful Leos. I hope that you have a gorgeous year. Make sure that you click in the description box down below also and get your own natal chart so that you can see where this is happening in your personal chart as well. And head over to stormiegrace.com where a whole new index of information has been built for you to say, oh, the new moon is happening in the 5th house of my actual chart. What does that mean for me? The interpretations, I've got you. They're there. So head over and check it out. But now I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Mr. Wade Caves, who is going to give you your financial timing for 2024. Bye, Leo.
Okay, so with Leo, we have a fairly open year with a few important points that we'll want to draw your attention to. I mean, we start with some good transits about Jupiter and Mars entering into Gemini in sextile to Leo, the support that can give. I might have brought to your attention, Mars in Aquarius. You might think, oh, that's an air sign that could be beneficial in the same way that Mars in Gemini is beneficial. But of course, Aquarius is opposing your sign of Leo. And so it's got a little bit more trouble involved. So we'll come to that in a moment. Jupiter in Gemini, that will be casting a sextile to the sun or ascendant degree, whichever is in Leo. And Jupiter is very helpful for financial planning as the natural significator of wealth and wealth management. Mars in Gemini in July, that transit also generally supportive. It's just something you'd want to be aware of that once we come into August, there's a pile up of very tough aspects. And so really the benefit will be, coming in the earlier part of the year. Some periods to avoid. February, as I said, Mars moving into Aquarius is a bit troublesome for Leo. That's in opposition to Leo, so this will be not ideal. It usually shows some kind of plan that stirs up aggravations and tensions and frustrations. The square between Mars and Jupiter also not helpful for responsible expansion of one's financial strategy. In June, Mars moves into Taurus, and then in November, Mars moves into Leo. Both of these ingresses can stir up a bit of trouble. Mars and Taurus, that is in square to Leo, and then Mars and Leo, obviously, that's going to be a conjunction. So these are periods where you might be expected to be making more rash, quick decisions rather than slow, thoughtful, pioneering ones. Also note that at the end of the year, rather, Mars turns retrograde in Leo, and that will continue into the beginning of 2025. And so in the winter months, probably best to avoid making big shakeups to your financial strategy and planning.
I know it can be intimidating to hear that Pluto is moving into your opposite sign. All right. This seems to have a lot of Leos freaked out. Well, and why wouldn't you be? It sounds so ominous. Pluto will be in my opposite sign of Aquarius, and it moves into my opposite sign of Aquarius on January 20th. All right. And how long is it going to be? Like there, it's going to be there for like 24 years. Okay, so automatically it's like, okay, Pluto in my opposite sign for the next 24 years. Does that mean like I'm unlovable for 24 years, or I'm dealing with domineering personalities for 24 years, or I'm dealing with people giving me ultimatums that they're going to spin on one heel and leave my life if I don't give them everything they want? No, 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 no. This is not what's going to be happening to you with Pluto moving into the zodiac sign of Aquarius. The wonderful thing about the modern planets taking so long to move through the sky is that you actually get a chance to acclimate to the energy. Uranus, it's kind of a little bit like, I don't know, does Pecos Bill acclimate to, throwing a rope around a tornado and being dragged through all the states? Well, that's kind of like my image for Uranus. You don't really acclimate to that. But with planets like Neptune and Pluto, they lend themselves to growing accustomed to the rhythm of the planet, to getting used to the energy that's come into your life. And of course, we're dealing with an opposition. And with Pluto taking up residence in your opposite sign of Aquarius, that means it's sitting across the table right from you, or it's sitting on the seesaw right across from you, if you happen to play on a seesaw when you were in nursery school or kindergarten or thereabouts. Now, sitting across Pluto on a seesaw, well, you're not really dealing with equal weight here. It's funny that Pluto, for being such a small planet, carries a lot of weight in astrology. And every time everyone's like, oh, it's just like a dwarf planet, it's like, you call it a dwarf planet. Let's see what you're saying during your Pluto transit. But anyway, you sort of like imagine sitting opposite Pluto, and you kind of think that, you're on an even playing field there. Well, you're not. Sitting opposite to Pluto on a seesaw is kind of like sitting opposite a sumo wrestler in the other seat that's opposite you. So the sumo wrestler is squarely on the ground and you're squarely up in the air with your legs dangling, trying to get the seesaw to move a bit. All right. So yes, Pluto is going to have a very determining effect, but it's not going to overwhelm you as a Leo. Actually, what it's going to do to you as a Leo is make you more leonine. In other words, you may be staring down someone who isn't going to be agreeing with the way that you want to do things in life. This could be a business partner. You may be staring down someone who, during this period of time, you've gone as far as you can go in your relationship. If that's the case, and if you feel that your partner, whether it's a romantic partner or a business partner, isn't getting you, okay, this might be the year where you go your own separate ways. What happens with an opposition is that they will highlight the weak points in a relationship right off the bat. And then it's up to the two people involved in the relationship to figure out where they stand with that. Now, sometimes it happens and people are like, you know what? I haven't really been in love with you for a long time, and oh my God, how can you say that? Well, actually, I haven't really been in love with you for a long time. Okay, well, this is this opportunity of Pluto coming into your opposite sign gives you a chance to say, okay, well, let's part ways. Okay, and that might be happening to some Leos this year with Pluto really entering into the zodiac sign of Aquarius. For other people, it might be like, okay, we don't see eye to eye on these things. And instead of trying to figure out how we're going to see eye to eye on these things, what happens if we leave room in our relationship where, I don't know, you say potato and I say potato, and we decide not to call the whole thing off? So this can be a little bit of a lost period, of a descent period, of the old rules not really making sense like they used to period for you. But if the love is there, and remember, relationship and love are ruled by two separate elements in astrology. Love is ruled by water, and relationships are ruled by air. Love rules water because you can love unconditionally. You can love someone, and that person doesn't have to be around. Ask any water sign. But no, you can love someone and that person doesn't have to be around. Maybe it's a secret crush. You absolutely adore someone and they have no idea that you exist. Or let's say you love this historical figure from 1780. Well, that person's been off the planet for a number of years. I mean, so you can have this love without someone being around. Relationship, you have to have someone around. Okay, relationship, there has to be someone sitting in the opposite seat of the seesaw. So what may be happening is that the relationship part may have kind of reached a wall, but the love may be strong there. It may be very powerful. And so that can either deepen the relationship, which is something that you'll discover throughout the year, or it may allow the two of you to separate. And if you have kids, you co-parent. You don't really leave one another's lives, but you're not really in a relationship either. There are so many different alternatives to relating and to relationships nowadays. And these will be heightened with Pluto being in your opposite sign. But as I said, your reaction is that you're going to become more leonine. And more leonine doesn't mean more like, arrogant and I refuse to be in a relationship like where I'm not loved properly and recognized. No, it's not going to be like that. But you might become more leonine in that you're coming more from a place of the heart. Okay, that you're more coming from, I don't know, your place of Leo realness, and Pluto being in your opposite sign is going to sort of highlight that. And so this might be things that you are experiencing this year. So if there's a sudden feeling of like, I don't feel the feelings that I used to feel, don't act on them yet. This is Pluto beginning its transit opposite your sun. Let yourself sort of be in that place where you don't recognize the landmarks, where the feelings aren't really the same, but then you're not really quite sure where they're going either. This is a wonderful place to be in, and it's the best place for working with Pluto. So I would strongly recommend that. Again, you may feel like there are obligations that demand, that you be there in front and present and things like that, but try to sort of take a couple of steps back and take a larger view picture of this, because there are changes that are going on in your heart, and there are changes that are going on in your emotional and romantic availability. Changes that are going to be pretty much things you knew on a gut level, but never really thought that you were going to see in your life. Finally, we have Mars turning retrograde in Leo from December 6th to February 24th. And this may put you in an awkward position where the choices or the actions that you're making in your life come with a tremendous emotional cost. Okay. And that's December 6th to February 24th of 2025. And what I mean by that is that you may be called upon to make decisions that may be the right decision, okay? But the circumstances couldn't be more dire or more opposite that. So this isn't really a sort of being true to myself type of thing. It's more like being put in an unenviable position where you have to make decisions about your relationships in which you can see what you're going to get out of it, where you want to go with it. But there may be an emotional cost that's steeper than you initially thought. And again, we're dealing with a Mars retrograde. Again, we're dealing with Pluto, which actually has re-entered Aquarius at that point. And this is something where you have to be true to the Mars. All right. And Mars is always action steps and moving forward. And you have to be true to the Mars, even if you don't want to be true to the Mars during that period of time.
Hey everybody, Cameron here, and welcome to your 2020 forecast for Leo rising. So for this year, Leo rising, what I want you to pay attention to and look out for is Saturn moving through your 8th house in Pisces. And we want to pay attention to this because Saturn is the ruler of your 6th house, having to do with acute and short-term illness, and also what we're doing in our day-to-day life that can have a tendency to create issues with our physical health. And so with Saturn being in Pisces, we want to be really mindful of how the lymphatic system is moving in the body, especially because Leo has to do with the heart, the cardiovascular system, the spinal sheath as a whole, and then also just circulation in general, right? So the cardiovascular system having to do with circulation. And so one thing that we have a misconception about oftentimes, especially here living in the United States, is that when we think about the cardiovascular system, we reduce it down and we say cardio. So when we think of cardio and making sure that the heart and the blood is moving properly, oftentimes what we're doing is running or doing something that's actually stressing us out in order to get the cardiovascular system moving. But what we need to know is that we can also get the blood moving by doing very, very simple practices, because it's based off cardio and vascular, right? So vasculature in the body and also the cardio system, the heart pumping things. And so some very simple things you can do is raise your hands up in the sky, hold it for 30 seconds. I'm not going to hold it for 30 seconds for time's sake. And then drop the arms down. And then repeat again. Hold the arms in the air. And then drop it down. And allowing yourself to feel the blood flow in the arms through that process. Also, something else you can do, stand on your tippy toes for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then slam down on your heels. So get it back up on your tippy toes. Come down on your heels. Also, something that I didn't say is that the 8th house is also a house of health, or a house of health having to do with how illness can potentially manifest. So we want to be really mindful of that. That's why it's so important, because Saturn is in a house that can create potential illness, and it's ruling a house that can also create potential illness. So we just want to be mindful of that. Another thing we can do there to make sure the lymphatic system is moving is just tapping the body. I like to have people do this for like 3 to 5 minutes. And then stop. And feel how your blood in your circulation is flowing from that point, so it doesn't get stagnant and constipated, because constipation is the energy oftentimes that happens when things go into the 8th house, right? Even if we think of it as the house of death, so-called, right? Like, what happens with things when they die? They kind of get stagnant and stuck, and that's what actually creates the decaying process. The 8th house also can co-rule the colon, so we just want to be mindful of the bowels as well there, and make sure the energy is flowing there. Yeah. So that's the 2024 forecast for Leo risings, and I hope you have a bright and blessed year. Peace.
Hey Leos, this is Tiffany Harlick, and if you have a Leo sun, moon, or rising, or you're watching for a Leo that you love, you are in the right place. I'm going to offer a 2024 look at your spiritual astrology forecast. So I hope you enjoy this look, but before we get going, my promise to you is to deliver clear, concise, and accurate information for my Virgo midheaven. And your promise to me is to just follow your heart, to follow your free will, and to never use astrology against yourself. So for you, Leo, your spiritual opportunity in 2024 is all about transmission. This is the information exchange. This is the ability to lead with ideas and really finding the education platform that you're interested in entertaining on and learning from. This is about right alignment with the type of information you're taking in and the type of information that you're sharing. So this is an opportunity to stop gossiping or to stop sharing information that impacts other people negatively, and to not be in alignment when people are complaining or upset in a way that is really kind of a downer. What you pour your mind into expands, especially this year you're going to see in the astrology. I'm also kind of curious what forms of humanitarian aid or foreign aid you might be interested in supporting this year. I'm curious if you're going to be interested in some spiritual technology or some spiritual apps that might pique your interest. And I'm curious if you want to have an accountability buddy for anything that you're wanting to accomplish in 2024. Your mantras are, it's good to be me. I trust my body to guide me to correct circumstances and people throughout the year. I'm excited about shining more in 2024. Your ruling planet is the sun. So the sun is a primal motivating factor in helping you decide how you want to work with your energy this year. And so I have taken the solar transits out so you can see what is going to be illuminated to you each quarter. How do you rise to the occasion of your inner soul? What will you stop using against yourself? You know, your inner soul, your inner sun. So in terms of transmission, we're going to break it down into 4 quarters. The first quarter is going to be your inner knower. The second one is about a pilgrimage that you want to take. And the third one is about shared dreams, shared resources. The fourth one is about supernatural support and gifts. So as we consider the inner knower, we're going to be looking at January, February, and March. January is a 9 in the numerology, and the 9 is about integration, assimilation, digestion, coming together. And in the solar transits, it looks like moderation would be best. It looks like there's some tension in the skies. This tension is good because it shows us what we don't want in order to know what we do want. But this tension can also lead to more irritability, right? And so with this irritability, can we see where maybe some moderation would be useful here in January? The sun is in Aquarius, and so you can always ask your network for help, ask your friends for solutions and ideas, and get out of your head and ask other people what they see, what their perspective is, to find solutions and answers. In February, we have a 1 month, which is really about being focused. And so you need to be careful to not get into analysis paralysis where we're hyper-focused or we're overstimulated on one thing. So that's going to require some self-awareness. The sun is making more positive, flowy transits here the first couple of weeks of February. And because of her connection to Chiron and the North Node and Uranus, I feel like you're going to be having that deja vu experience of like, yeah, I feel like I've known that person before, or we just click, or the conversation is so good, or things are just flowing. The sun will move into Pisces mid-February. And so there can be a time when you might feel more creative. You might feel tapped into your inner muse. You might feel like you want to experience some yoga and meditation in a different way. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the yogi of the skies, that blurs and blends and dissolves, right? So this ability to relax is going to be important with the sun in Pisces. In March, we shift into a 2 in the numerology, and this is more relationship focused, not just the relationship we have with other people, but the relationship we have with our higher self, our oversoul, our higher power. There's mixed vibes in the March skies, so be aware of that and know that when the sun moves into Aries, it will be time to focus again and to shine and to really stay top of mind what like you want to have in terms of pioneering information, what you want to study, what you want to learn, where you want to go. This eclipse on March 25th is happening in your 3rd house, right, of the transmitter, the message giver, the marketer. The 3rd house also has to do with our siblings, our childhood friends, our early childhood development, our elementary schools and neighborhoods. Libra has to do with relationships. So you're going to see some overlapping themes here in this eclipse. And in terms of the support themes for this eclipse, you'll see that the 3rd and 9th house axis work together. And so this is a sacred reunification with your inner knower. And so what networks are changing? What neighborhoods are changing? What extended family is changing? Do you need to check in with some people from a past that you have a shared history with? Is travel a really important part of understanding and knowing the universe, right? What student and teacher dynamics are you aware of? So I invite you to take a screen grab and see if any of this resonates as the eclipse nears on March 25th. And because it's in Libra, because we have this relationship theme going on, I'm inviting all of the signs to take me up on this relationship inventory. I did not write this. This is one I personally use when I'm upset, agitated, things, feel a little tense in the skies. If I am upset out there, I know that 3 fingers are pointing back at me and that I can look at myself and do some self-reflection to figure out where I set the ball rolling, right? We don't want to shop for bread at the hardware store and then get mad at the hardware store for being a hardware store. So these are the types of tools that I personally use to check in with my motives, to check in with how I'm behaving in terms of relationship and the energy I bring. Now, if you're totally cool, Leo, and you don't need this type of exercise, know that you can do a check-in on a more regular basis just with the people that you love. What's going well between us? What's not going so well? Have I been of service to you? What could I do better? Simple things to check in. Your self-development for this quarter, I would recommend that you download some type of meditation app or create a meditation playlist. Use technology, use your spiritual technology, and see what you come up with. You might find something fun. You might find an app that teaches you a foreign language or reads a sacred holy text to you or shows you some different types of workouts or dance moves. But work with that this quarter. Your stewardship here has to do with that 3rd and 9th house axis. And this is about cultivating culture. What kind of culture do you come from? What kind of culture do you bring to the table? What does culture mean to you? How can you be a good steward of culture? And your activity is to write to your council elders. So your council elders can be real or fictitious. They might be your favorite aunt or a mentor or a teacher. They might be, a celebrity that you really look up to. You can make this exercise up. But the point is to use your dominant hand when writing your council elders, your spirit guides, a letter, a question with your dominant hand, and then allow your non-dominant hand to write the answer and see what you get. I'm recommending the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron to help you connect with some creative solutions and your own creative process. If you've already read that one, Stephen King writes one that I really like. I know a lot of people like Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. But I feel like as long as you can stay creative and open-minded, the solutions and also projects and things that inspire you are just going to pour in. All right, in the second quarter, Leo, we're talking about a pilgrimage. And in terms of this is because of your 9th house activation. April is a huge month in astrology. This is one of the busiest, loudest months in 2024. It's a 3 energy, which has to do with connection, finding like-minded people, finding your spiritual home, right? This is taking on a new perspective. Mercury retrograde in Aries will show you a part of yourself that you lost touch with, will bring something back around to you. And it's in your 9th house of travel and philosophy and gurus. And, it's traditionally ruled by Jupiter, which is the king of the gods. And so this 9th house activation continues into your eclipse moment on April 8th, when it's in 19 degrees of Aries in your 9th house. So spiritual travel, pilgrimages, this concept that we were just journaling about with culture is coming forward for your awareness. On April 20th, one of the biggest transits of the year is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It's happening in your 11th house. So Jupiter expands, makes things big. It's benevolent, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and it's seeing the best possible case. It's growth and wealth. And the Uranus is all about things happening quickly. It's very Einstein. It turns energy over fast. And so I'm curious what kind of mass sightings we will see on April 20th or around April 20th. I'm curious what kind of things will blow up in a good way. And can you get your mind around things happening for you in a positive spin? This is happening in your 10th and 11th house here, Leo. So not only just the network, but the 10th house, like where we need to have a career pivot, where we need to think about our give back, where we need to flow with the changes, where the network will show us what is needed from us in the 10th house, the midheaven. Okay, May we have the 4 energy, and the 4 is about being steady and graceful and calm and grounded when the world is chaotic. So your meditation, your yoga, your workout, your dance moves, your somatic therapy, whatever you're doing for your mind, body, spirit health is going to be important to kind of keep intact during May. There's many spiritual blessings available for you in May. The sun will move into Gemini, right? And this is going to stimulate this information exchange, this idea, this overarching idea of how we're going to share information this year, what kind of educational platforms we want to be on. As the sun sextiles Saturn, it gives you that inspiration to keep going. And it's going to also sextile Neptune and trine Pluto. So something's changing in a good way. You can follow your intuition. You can trust your heart. And you can have fun with the information that you're getting. Just a reminder to be careful with what you pour into your head and out from your mouth. In terms of June, it's a 5 energy, and this is very extroverted. We can feel like we're being pulled in many different directions. But just as that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction releases, Jupiter will go on to trine Pluto in June. This is when people are being asked to take a leap of faith, to change something big, to trust in the unseen world. And I'm suggesting that you, Leo, recruit some support. The sun will move into Cancer at the end of June there. Cancer is all about roots and refuge, how we make our homes a place we run to and not away from, where we feel safe, where we feel calm, where we want to connect with our soul family. Some self-development tools for you. So the Silva method, I am recommending to everyone this year. It is an old tool that I still love and use. And if you haven't used it yet, you can download it for free or purchase different versions of it. Jose Silva was born in El Paso, Texas, and he came up with a meditation technique that helps you elevate your mind to operate from higher states of consciousness. And it's essentially using your spiritual vision, right? And some of it, yes, is for manifestation type purposes. But I love because Mr. Silva says that this won't work unless your vision includes helping many, many, many other people. So that's a tool for you to check out. Your stewardship, what is your devotional mood to your work, your bhav, right? What is that inner knowing, that inner compassion, that thing that, when you get up in the morning and you make your bed, are you devoted to something greater happening through you today? Or are you just doing your chores? Are you just making a spreadsheet? Are you just getting through? This is an opportunity for you to understand if you're answering a calling or fulfilling a duty or both, right? Because of those blessings that we're activating this quarter, I want you to really pause and journal about miracles. I love, there's a book about it's called The Visions of the Children, and it was about the children that saw visions of Mary in Lourdes, France. I love stories like that. But miracles come in many forms, right? There's that near miss moment. There are near death experiences. There are unexplainable things that happen. And this unexplainable side of life that you can turn into a miracle, something that is not explained by natural or scientific laws, right, is considered the work of the divine agency. And so I want you to be inspired by miracles. There's a reading recommendation for you there. And then as we look at the third quarter, this is about shared resources, shared dreams, shared spaces, and our deepest human bonds. Okay, so Leo, in July, this is a month where we're going to be wanting to nest more, wanting to recreate keep the home fires burning. The 6th month is about nourishing yourself. It's about rose quartz and beautiful baths with rose petals, and that sense that everything's peaceful. It's very Queen of Coins energy. The sheets are all clean. There's something wonderful in the crock pot that makes the house smell great. That's the energy of the 6th. The first half of the month, the sun is going to challenge the nodes and Chiron. And so I know that it's going to be one step forward and two steps back, one step forward and two steps back. And so be aware of this steady progress that you're making. It's about progress, not perfection, right? It's about doing the next right thing, not the next thing right. You know what I mean? The second half of July, I'm suggesting some deja vu moments or some deja vu moments. These are these karmic connections that we have with other people that you might recognize from many, many lifetimes ago, or that you might be creating new lifetimes with. And so just be prepared to have those connections and notice who's in your life that second half of July. In August, this is a 7-month of spiritual development and self-development. The Mercury retrograde cycle goes through your second and first house, your finances, your worth, how you feel about yourself, and your identity, you know, how you want to shine your creative light in this world. What's your thing? What's your niche? Who are you? These are the questions that are top of mind, I'll say, in August. And there is spiritual support here. The sun sextiles Jupiter, trines Chiron, and squares Uranus. It's like anything can happen. This is a choose your own adventure. This is understanding your psychic nature and using your spiritual vision in the way that you choose. On August 19th, so growing, and then releasing on August 19th, Jupiter in the sky will square Saturn. This creates inner tension because Jupiter shows us what we want most in the world, and Saturn shows us where we're restricted. So our responsibilities, our duties are in this kind of challenging aspect to something outside of that wants us to grow, that wants us to go beyond. And so we're managing some of these tensions, and I want you to be aware of what tensions you're feeling, because this will come back around in December. In September, this is an 8-month, and what goes up must come down, and what goes down must come up, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. In September, because of your 8th house activation, I'm asking you, what kind of band member are you? You know, are you good at being in a band? Who are you playing with? Who are you collaborating with and creating with? What music are you making? Are you able to be in non-resistance? Are you able to be like a leaf on a fast-moving stream? Are you able to identify the green lights and go forward? On the 18th, the eclipse in 25 degrees of Pisces is in your 8th house. This is a sacred reunification with your values, with your core values. Are you aware of self-sabotaging when you're not feeling loved for who you really are? Are you aware of some kind of catharsis around your money or other people's money? Are you detoxing from financial or emotional bonding or entanglements like triangulation? So I invite you to take a screenshot and journal through those. I also invite you to write a personal mission statement with some of the questions I've brought forward here. And in your self-development, I encourage you to work with the Ho'oponopono prayer. Again, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And if you haven't read that research yet, the history of that prayer is fascinating and powerful. I want you to consider your financial stewardship this quarter, perhaps talking with some financial professionals or being ready and willing to take an honest look at your finances. Your journal prompt with this 8th house focus can also occur around shared resources. You know, the 8th house is not just who we own land together or who we play in a band together. It's our deepest human bonds. It's the people we love and miss and connect with deeply, you know? And so I want you to think about not only just the information that's coming in this year for you, but also the people that you're allowing in your energy field this year. Okay, so a rating recommendation for you. And then in Q4 is supernatural. So supernatural support. In October, this is a 9 energy. It's that integration energy, the same as January. Something's coming full circle. So what are you more aware of now regarding your energy transmission, your information exchanges, the kind of material you're allowing in, the kind of people you're allowing in, and the kind of energy that's coming out from you? October 2nd, this eclipse goes into your 3rd house, and you can revisit those themes. As the sun opposes Chiron, squares Mars and Pluto, you might be aware of some fears that you're overcoming or that you're facing. And in my lineage, fear stands for F everything and run, or face everything and rise. So those are some considerations to offer. I read a Jim Morrison quote the other day, and it was something along the lines of, if you really face the thing that you are most afraid of, then you're free. So welcome to your freedom, Leo. The sun will move into Sag October 22nd through November 21st, Scorpio. It'll move into Scorpio, and then we'll move into Sag in November. And in November, we have a 1 month, and this is a month when we can be hyper-focused on things. And so being aware that this is a repeat from the energy of February, and knowing that you're gaining momentum and that the patterns from February are here for your review. So what's in your awareness right now, and what can you reflect on, and what sense can you make of it? As Mercury retrogrades in Sagittarius, this goes over your 5th house of creativity, your inner child, right? So what old activities did you used to do that you want to do? Like right now, I've been on this big Nintendo kick. Like I really want to find an old Nintendo because we used to play Nintendo in the 90s, right? And so I would just like something like that, reconnecting with something from your youth that's just kind of fun and lighthearted and creative, and not just something to get totally lost in, but something to help you keep things light. So in December, this is a 2-month. So this is like March, a focus on relationships at some level, whether it's you and your higher power or you and someone else. The Mars retrograde cycle goes through your 12th and 1st house. This is going to offer you an opportunity for the 12th and 6th house axis. So sometimes medical mysteries. The book Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose is really great if you're having some medical mysteries or some questions about some phantom pains or things that you can't explain, right? As the sun squares Saturn, Neptune, and the nodes, this is a time to do less, to say less, to take things off your plate, to be reflective and still. That inner tension that we saw in August about the growing pains resurfaces here in December. And so I want you to see some patterns between August and December where these tensions are being released. What are you more aware of now from these 2 months? Your self-development is to do some breath work with your meditation. The box breath is a really easy one to use. There's great books out there, like the James Nestor book on breath work. There's, of course, Wim Hof. But the one that I recommend is Science of the Breath. And so with the box breath, you start here at your baseline and you inhale for 4 counts. And then you pause at the top for 4 counts. And then you exhale for 4 counts. And you pause at the bottom for 4 counts. And if you pause when agitated and use your box breath, it will calm your system down. You will get back to a place of neutral and being grounded. Your stewardship, again, is to work with that 3rd and 9th house axis of culture and information exchange and education. What culture do you want to connect with? What movies do you want to watch about helping people in foreign cultures with different education systems and different education platforms? These type of themes might be helpful for you if you're looking for a volunteer or stewardship opportunity. Now, towards your journal prompt, I'm offering that many research studies show that people on their deathbed have a major regret of not traveling and of not spending enough time with their family, not saying I love you more. My grandmother, my Mimi, died when she was 102, and I asked her this question before she passed. I said, is there anything that you regret? And she did say that travel was up there, that she was a well-traveled woman, but she did wish she had seen some more places. And because you have that 3rd and 9th house activation of travel or a pilgrimage or something, you don't even have to get out of your home to understand and fall in love with another culture, another part of this precious world. So do you want to write a gratitude letter for the joy you've experienced this year, the places you've traveled in the past? Do you want to write a promise letter to your inner child for the joy that you're going to be creating or the places that you're going to be learning about? Things like this. And of course, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I recommend the audio version because it has meditations that you can hear and use versus just reading them in the book. So that's my preference. So I have one more slide after this one. Just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to walk through your spiritual opportunities for 2024 with the astrology and your ruling planet. You can check my stuff out at tiffanyharlick.com. I offer sessions. You'll see stuff about beekeeping. There's free workbooks and articles. There's also my astrology newsletter goes out every Friday. There's some outside resources listed for you. And I would love for you to check out my digital astrology calendar. You can use the code Stormie 2024 for $10 off your purchase, making it just 29 bucks. And I've been writing it for 7 years. It has all of the planetary transits and ingresses. It has all of the lunations and the moon family cycles. And so basically you have the astrology in your back pocket. So I use it on Google Calendar, but you can use it on any device. It travels with you in any time zone, and you click on the little title and it expands the description, and you can read through and learn astrology throughout the year. And if you don't want to read through, you just want it at a glance, there's a sun emoji for the easy days and an umbrella emoji for the days that you might want to lay low. So if you would like to become a certified astrologer, I'm teaching at the Lisa Williams International School for Spiritual Development next year. And I also offer free classes for my membership. So Leo, that's it for your 2024 spiritual forecast. Above all, you're here to know yourself, to love yourself, and to enjoy the ride. So it has been my pleasure and honor to be a service to you. And until we can work together next time, guys, namaste.